Okay, in this lesson we're going to be able to finalise the bottom of the mobile traffic light by arraying the leg design into its final location. So to begin with, what we're going to do is just open up our layer manager, and to save us duplicating the construction lines which are now redundant, we're just going to lock those off. So I'm just going to open up the con layer and scroll my mouse to the right hand side and you'll see a series of locks. I'm just going to lock the parent layer at the top there, so we'll be unable to select it, but it will still be visible in shot. The next thing we're going to do is group everything that's going to be arrayed in order to make the feet. So I'm just dragging my mouse from right to left, selecting everything there, then zooming in and getting that hinge mechanism that we need, and the hinge mechanism at the top, and the connecting bracket with it. Just check both sides are there, confirm that everything is selected. That looks fine. And now scrolling down the left hand side to the Venn diagram and grouping those elements, and you'll see it'll flash on screen when the group takes place. So we can see that in there. One way we can test that is simply press the hide command. You'll notice it'll disappear. Then we right click on the hide command to bring it back into position. Double click on the perspective view to bring up the four viewport layout. And we're now going to duplicate that leg into position. So our first action is to click on the transform command, scroll down to array, and the command we will be working with is polar. Zoom in, and we just want to grab the very center point of the design. Now we could key in 0, 0, 0 as that was the starting point for our build, or we can just conveniently grab the point that was placed at the start of the model construction. Next, you'll notice it'll call for the number of items. We currently have it set at 3, so you may need to key that in at your end. Then press enter. It will ask you for the turning radius of that array. 360 is the default. Press enter one more time. It will preview those legs into position. So if you're happy with that, which I am at this stage, you simply press enter one more time to close that off, and you can check that in the perspective viewport. I'm just going to close off the layer manager so you can see we now have the base of our design in position. Now you'll notice as we zoom in, we do need to make a fine-tuning adjustment. The adjustment element that we had previously on the mounting rings doesn't match what we've got on those, so on the legs now that they're in position. So that's easily solved. We're now going to rotate that central post into its new and final location. In order to do that, we need a construction line, so call up the layer manager, click onto con layer A, and then left click on the polyline tool to bring up the polyline command. We can turn off the layer manager for a moment, and you can see we're just going to click across there on the end command on snaps, and we want quad at the other end. So we've created a construction line there. See if we can see that in position. I'm just rotating it around. See if we can get the correct location. Rotating in position. There it is. Okay, you can see it just in that position there. Now what we're going to do is simply do a fresh command here, is we're going to put in a temporary construction plane. Right click on the word top, scroll down to set construction plane, and the type of construction plane we're going to be working with is 3 points. So scroll down, grab 3 points, and with the near snaps switched on, we can just simply grab anywhere on that line that we've just created, drag to the right, make sure near is still activated. Then once you've left clicked again, right click, and you'll notice on the top view the grid is now being adjusted to the line and elevation of the construction line that we've just put in. So what we're doing at this point is we're putting in a midline So we're just going to roll across. You can see now you should have mid activated on your snaps command, and we're going to drag out to one side. This will end up as the center line for our final rotation. Now for the moment we're just going to hide the legs that we rotated previously. We no longer need those in view. So I've pressed the hide command, and then all I'm doing is left clicking and right clicking in order to get that command to come up. Next, double click on the top view. We're going to select everything in the top view, excluding the con lines. So I'm just going to drag from left to right. Make sure we've got everything in shot there. Press the Control key to deselect the construction line. That looks pretty good. Press the Control key to deconstruct those other construction lines that are in shot. Because once we have the Con A active, it takes it off the lock setting. Now quickly, all we need to do is go back to our world top view on our construction plane, so we get a point of rotation. So we right click on top, set construction plane, and we now go back to world top, and you will notice that the grid is now back in its usual position, right at the bottom of the construction plane, 0, 0 as it was before. We're just going to rotate that post. So transform, scroll down to rotate. We're going to grab on the point command, and we're going to scroll down. So with the ortho switched on, you can see that the first angle of rotation is directly down the page as we drag the mouse down the interface. Left click, and now we're going to turn that, and we're going to grab on the midpoint line that we made previously. Left click, and you can see the result is we've now rotated. If we're checking on the perspective view, we've now rotated that central post into a fresh location, and we're just simply going to right click on the hide command to bring up the post to confirm that the solution is correct. So you can see now the hinge points and the little adjustment screw are now correctly placed in the shot, and we have completed the base of our design at this stage. So the important command that was introduced in this lesson is the use of a construction plane using 3 points. So if we want to use the ortho command but on a different orientation, we can use the construction plane adjustment in order to start working conveniently using the ortho command, but in any orientation or elevation that we require. Okay, just to close off, we're just going to switch off our con layers for the moment. So we'll just activate our traffic light, minimize our con tree, and switch off, so you can now see the completed bottom half of our design is all in position, ready for material allocations to take place at a later stage. Okay, see you in the next lesson.